going to show you some tips and tricks that will really help elevate your work. Brickwork is really a really important textural piece to add to a drawing. I have a saying, where bricks are concerned, it's either all or nothing. So you don't show any bricks or you show all the bricks. I believe that the textural piece of the brick gives scale, detail to the building and interest and a believability to it. This example is an interesting one because you'll notice that I'm using a lighter colour for the mortar. What you're really looking for is to accentuate the contrast. Always think about adding texture in some shape or form to a building. Everything has detail, has a feel to it. Every material that you're drawing, whether it's grass, brick, glass, everything has a textural element to it. So what I would always say is try to add the textural element if you can. Embrace the wobble. If anything, the wobbly line gives you more license to be creative. But this example would be much less interesting if it didn't have a wobbly line to it. It may sound counterintuitive, but when you're more relaxed, the wobble becomes a more interesting thing and gives you artistic license, I think, to interpret what you're seeing. Always in an urban environment, you'll find trees and shrubbery. The actual way you depict trees and shrubbery is really quite important. You know, trees in the summer and trees in the winter are two very different things. You know, trees in the winter are spiky and spidery and skeletal. Though in some ways they're easy with pen and you get a lovely spidery sort of line. Trees in the summertime, I think, become land-based clouds, but they're green. So I encourage people to think about them as huge cushions. Like, it's important to get the structural shape of a tree right. But I think the most important thing is when drawing shrubs and trees in an urban environment is the contrast between the buildings, the sharp architecture and the softness of those. It's the combination of the two that works really well. Shadow's so important in an urban environment. It's the way the sun hits the building or hits the subject matter. I don't think shadows always have to be completely realistic in terms of the depth and strength, but they're essential to any drawing to give some definition and some shape to the buildings themselves. In this sketch, the shadow is built out from the features of the stonework, combining the use of a solid black marker and a white highlight pen to create dramatic contrast. In urban sketching, highlights can be used in a number of different ways. The trick is to add white at the very end of the process to add that final hint of detail that will bring everything together. White highlights need only be gestures, but their impact on the sketch can be significant.